Hello, everyone. Hello. All right. I'm surprise, a Saturday special. Everybody's talking about Twilight. Everybody's talking about it, so I've got to talk about it too, in the only way I know how, which is ask my very special friend to stop by and tell me about her experience at the premiere and her thoughts on the movie itself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out of the closet, Stephanie Wayland.
So exciting to come out of that closet.
It really is, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, so here's the deal. I know nothing about Twilight. And so there's a lot of people I could have asked for their opinions on it, but I don't trust most people's opinions. However, I do trust yours.
Thank you.
So, okay, I need you to explain something to me because I haven't read the books. I feel like the books just came out, people just got crazy, and then the movie's happening. But that's not the case,
That
right?
is untrue.
Right. Because I heard the movie's been in the works for 4 years.
Yes.
So I guess I do know a few things.
You do. So the books came out a while ago, and they, it's a series. And the last book just came out. And quite honestly, I think that's when the craze started, when it was complete. That's when I read it.
It's like when Harry Potter, the craze didn't start on Harry Potter until like book 3.
I've come in my mouth. That's like what they make you do at Dancing with the Stars.
You can put it in here if you want.
Thank you.
I'm glad you spit it out because I didn't notice it, but they notice it. Like whenever
guys,
I have
I'm
gum,
sorry.
or like when my mom had gum, they're like, "There's gum, there's gum."
There was gum. So I read them after the first book, or after the fourth book came out. And my friend.
So there's 4 books.
There are 4 books. Twilight is the first, and my friend.
Oh, they aren't all called Twilight.
No, they all have different names. There's
see, I didn't even
New
know that.
Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn is the last one.
Breaking Dawn.
Yeah. So after I read the first one on my very good friend Jessica's recommendation, I read the other 3 in rapid succession because they are incredibly addictive.
Right.
Although the 4th goes off the deep end, and I think those of you who have read it will agree that that is the case.
Really?
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Really? Is it the final book?
Yeah, it's the last book.
And it's been declared the final book.
According to her, it is the final book in the series, although she did write another version of the first book from Edward's perspective instead of Bella's perspective, but then some of it got leaked on the internet, and she said, basically, I don't tolerate that, and I will not publish this book. But Rob Pattinson, who plays Edward in the movie, got to read it for his character.
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about, because this guy is getting so much attention.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah, but he came out of nowhere. And
Cedric Diggory. He was Cedric Diggory.
Right.
In
Harry
Goblet of
Potter.
Fire.
But he looks very different now.
He does.
And one eye is significantly larger than the other.
Well,
True
I don't
or
know
not true?
if they used some CGI in the movie, but I did not notice that in the movie. No.
I notice it when he does interviews.
Well, in the stills from the premiere, you can kind of see that.
That one eye's larger
one eye's
than
a
the
little,
other.
maybe.
It's not like he's like lazy-eyed or anything. Like he's fine.
Yeah.
But one eye is significantly larger, and it creeps me out a little bit. Also, is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Well, he's a very good guy. He's like the best vampire you can possibly be.
Better than the one in True Blood?
Oh, much better than that guy. He doesn't kill people,
right.
Number one. Well, he's killed people before.
Edward.
But Edward has killed people before, but he's off the killing.
Okay, and then the bad guy is that Cam Giganet or whatever?
Yeah, that.
He lives really close to here, and sometimes I see him jogging.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, he looks good. I will say,
I don't hate that.
Everyone in this movie is good looking,
but also very Euro. Like they're very British looking.
Yeah. Well,
but they're not. None of them are British. Right?
None of them are British.
But they all look very like European.
Yeah, they do.
I guess it's the vampire. They're all
I
very
think
pale.
Because they're very pale.
Yeah,
right?
for Americans, they're very pale.
Now,
but even the actors themselves are very pale.
They are. But this brings me to my first critique of the movie. Okay.
You love the books.
I love the books. Well, okay, I love the first book. And I love, like, the second and third book. But the fourth book...
Wow.
I think I could have done better.
Oh, there you go. There you have it. So anyway.
Okay, well, I'll start off by saying the premiere was crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sure.
And they blocked off the streets, and my friend Jessica Hi, Jessica. Jessica's watching our show. She really wanted to go, and I wanted to go too.
Right,
but
sure.
it was
It's a huge premiere.
Yeah, it was a huge premiere. It was a spectacle. They showed it in 2 theaters in Westwood. Now, I think that's kind of cheating a little bit because, you know, when you get a ticket to a premiere, you expect that everybody will be in the same theater.
Right. So were you in the better theater?
Yeah.
Good.
Luckily.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't been, I don't know what would have happened.
Right.
Bad stuff would have happened.
Right.
I felt sorry for the
But you're
people.
very VIP.
Yeah, I am very VIP. So,
I was going to say, I would have heard. If you had been put in the secondary theater, I would have heard your fit from Westwood. That wouldn't have gone over well at all.
But I will tell you, just to get to the will call table was like getting into Fort Knox.
Wow.
And so you were like kind of going through all of these screaming people.
Yeah. Now, how old are they?
This is the interesting thing.
Yeah.
They are ranging from the age of, I'd say, 9-ish to maybe 64.
Wow.
That's the age range of the women that were at this premiere.
Right.
Because I think people's mothers read the book.
Right.
So they know what the daughters are reading.
Yeah, totally.
So there were...
That's what happened with Harry Potter, too.
Right. And during the movie, when any new character would come on screen, people would scream.
Wow.
Just screaming.
Wow.
And then when they knew a line or a scene was coming up in the movie, they would scream for that line.
Wow.
Before it even got to that. And there are a couple of, I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but obviously you've read the book, so it's not like a plot thing. But there's a scene where you think they're going to kiss for the first time. And you're like, oh, this is it. Everybody's screaming. And then they don't. And then everybody in the theater went, oh! Like, they couldn't believe that they didn't kiss.
But they knew that.
They did know. But they thought maybe, you rearrange it for the movie.
Right, because like Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter was different. After the first one, they went back to just making the books.
Yeah, you just stick with it.
But the first one, they tried to flip it up a little bit.
So, I did not like the movie. I'm just going to say, I didn't like the movie.
Now, why? What's the problem? What's lacking?
I didn't care for the direction of the movie.
Who directed it?
Catherine Hardwicke.
Oh, right.
Who did 13.
Yeah.
Which, she works with the teenagers.
That's a small movie, though.
It's a small movie. And this was not a small movie.
No.
And I just felt like these two people, the main character, Kristen Stewart and Rob Pattinson, needed to be reined in a little bit. And based on interviews I have read with them, it seemed like they could pretty much do whatever they wanted.
Wow.
Like, I think they changed, actually, lines in the script to make it
more
that's
comfortable probably for them. Something about how she works, because 13 was a very collaborative process.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that she would let people,
But, this is about these two characters.
Right.
It's not really, and you barely see the other actors, who are all very good. Actually, the guy who plays Bella's dad, I can't remember what his name is right now, but was fantastic.
Really?
He was great. And there was some good acting, but I thought there were moments that just needed to be
right.
Direct them.
Right.
Because they're just kind of just doing whatever they wanted. And I thought that the special effects that were used for Edward flying around were... He
flies?
Well, he runs really fast.
Oh.
It's kind of like flying. He can go up trees really fast.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's a good skill, I guess.
Yeah, it is. He can also read people's thoughts. But he can't read Bella's thoughts. She's the only one.
Because the love blocks him?
Something about her, which maybe you'll find out more about in the other books.
Right. So should I read the books?
Yes, read the books.
Read the books.
At least read the...
Watch the movie on DVD after I read the first book.
Yeah, at least read the first book, and then if you
The movie's not gripping me. I'm not feeling a pull to see the movie.
If you haven't read the books...
I'm feeling guilty that I didn't read the books.
Yeah, if you haven't read the books, I would say the movie's sort of some teenage movie.
All right, maybe I'll read the books. I don't have time.
There are moments between the two characters that really work and that are very romantic and nice.
They're beautiful people.
And they're gorgeous people.
It looks like a Vogue spread.
The
movie.
It is kind of like that.
That's what it looks like.
So,
it looks like Vampire Chic, done in Vogue or something.
It's very vampire. Oh, that's good. Vampire Chic.
Vampire Chic.
And I was eating so much popcorn during the movie. I told Jessica I was a popcorn vampire. I sucked up the popcorn. That popcorn was good, and we couldn't eat before because it was early premiere. So anyway,
all right, say goodbye, Stephanie.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to my Twilight review.
Thanks for being here with it. It's nice.